or is it worth more if it's actually signed on the actual like hardware?
Well,
that's a really good question.
You know, there's not like
that's just what I thought of.
There's not like a reliable tracking method for signed video games yet at this point.
But if it's signed on the box, it's open.
Yeah,
and so you've got people who freak out about that.
That's a good point. Yeah,
The
exactly.
sealed is new.
Yeah.
Speaking of signatures, Mike brought in something else related.
Okay.
I'm just going to show off, which is the Game Boy Advance version that is signed by Miyamoto.
But these things you can find in the most unlikely of places. Like I was just actually in Michigan, and a friend of mine happened to just pick these up someplace there
With the
with a signed Miyamoto.
What?
Yeah. What? And he gave them to me. What? Don't tell him. Everybody. Shh.
People need to get their shit together.
So as far as Donkey Kong goes,
So again, for the sake of appraisal, we got the original box, we have the original instructions. We have
photocopy instructions.
We have the original warning card with this very distressed guy.
And we have a pretty sun-faded, kind of beat-up box. It's all intact, which is good. There's no cardboard falling off of it. But at the same time, Donkey Kong is pretty much the most common of the Game & Watches. The actual unit itself is pretty well played. It's very scratched out. Yeah.
It's seen some love.
Yeah, you do have the box, but again, when you start getting into those collectors who want the box and want the instructions and everything, they're looking for condition. Now they're really getting into I want the nicest. And so you'd probably be able, this is. It's probably like $40 or so, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. A good condition loose Donkey Kong about 80. If it's really good condition, this one's. But the box is kind of beat up, and that's the hard part. It's probably with the box in this, probably be about $80 tops.
Okay.
Everybody's really looking for it, but the manual being Xerox.
Yeah, I just paid just on eBay like 6 months ago. I paid $20 for this.
Oh, you got it.
It was $40 for the Game & Watch. So yeah, I guess I was
Wow. Hey, look at that. Yeah. No way. Everybody.
So wait, you paid your appraisal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
I could have just told you what I paid for it. That would have been it. Yeah. I already knew it.
Why did we spend all this time up here?
Thank you guys.
Let's get Dan G.
Let's get crazy.
Dan G. Dan G is here. There's Dan G.
Dan G.
Dan G.
We got some kind of crappy set.
Get this off the floor. There you go. People in your video.
Well, I got one of these under my shirt too.
I have a question, Dan. Did you just buy this?
About 4 hours.
Okay, all right.
Did you buy it from the Stop and Save?
Pink Gorilla Games.
Here at PAX. Okay. Cool.
Yep. Well, it's a Stop and Save on it. Okay, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty purchased at apparently.
So,
yeah.
So we talked before the panel, and you said that a reason you brought this up was because you weren't sure if it was authentic.
I just wanted to confirm the authenticity because I
see.
paid a lot for it. So,
yeah.
So,
and basically, I don't even know if the CD is in there,
yeah. Well, first of all,
Well, I see one good side, sir.
Yeah. First of all, we should talk a little bit about the game.
Let's talk about this game. It's pretty good. You should open up and play it.
All right. So this was a very late release for the set, right?
There's like the big three, right?
Yeah, there's this and what House of the
There's
Dead.
House of the Dead. There's Burning Rangers.
Yeah.
There's Shining Force 3.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's Magic Knight Raider towards the very, very end of the short, sad lifespan.
Which meant they had very limited runs, like the earlier stories as well. Like these were not as big.
They didn't make very many of these. The Saturn market was pretty much dead. I was always under the impression that they were just like, well, we shouldn't just not release this. We're not going to make money off of it, but we might as well just print what we have.
Right. So they print a couple.
Yeah.
And this was a really very brilliant, forward-thinking game. It was a role-playing game based on the Panzer Dragoon series of shooters in which you rode around with a dragon, and it combined RPG elements with like the in-flight combat on dragons. And it was great. It was so good. And they didn't make very many of them. And
Do you guys need a closer look at the seals?
I think I'm good. I can see it. I'll show it to Mike though.
Okay, 3 discs, correct? 3 discs.
So it's 4 discs.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah. If you were to open it up, not that I'm suggesting that you do, but
We got some
Candy.
discs in there, like in like cardboard.
I want-
jelly bean. Very
I want candy.
set.
Ew, those are nasty.
That candy
$4
is-
for that.
You got that gooey crap in the middle?
Yeah,
So,
there you are.
My feeling, first of all, is that I really trust the buyer that you got this from, Big Gorilla, the
That's
reputable
very
dealer.
Yep.
You know, that's an important part of lending is you know your dealer. Life lesson.
That was one of the motivations was cigarette packs.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are not gonna, they're not gonna let you screw you over. The stop and save sticker on here, if this were somehow a fake, it would be a brilliant fake. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
The seals to me look like they came from a factory. This isn't like, I mean, you know, I don't know how much detail you can see on that, but you know, this isn't like someone at the video store using their shrink wrap with a heat gun in the back rooms.
Right.
You know, this is a factory seal.
And I don't really know if you can see from the on the camera, but it has the hang tag on the back as well.
So, I mean, you know, again, this is for entertainment purposes only our pixels, but I would call this authentic, actually.
Yeah,
I have no
good.
doubt. Yeah, I have no doubt about authenticity. As far as value, should we go the Antiques Roadshow route and ask for paid, or should
I would, yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't mind saying,
I don't mind it. I mean, it didn't bother me. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for this game.
well, it sounded like you were just willing to pay with it.
Yeah. I paid $500.
That's, I'd say that's market value for someone like Pink Gorilla. I mean, they obviously know what they have.
they're a retailer. Yeah, they know what they're sitting on. Yeah.
You know, I would say that that's a fair price, but I would say on eBay it's probably more in the 350 to 450 range.
But that didn't bother me too much.
Yeah, I mean, you paid a slight markup, but it doesn't matter.
And you also got to see the condition firsthand and decide.
I wanted the rare classic game. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm going to put that away for a very long time and just leave it alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for you.
And don't ever open it.
I agree with that
Really?
one.
Yeah, that's the problem. I haven't played it.
You haven't
That's
played
why I-
Why are you that Chelsea? Yeah,
And again, you know, if you're looking to protect your investment, essentially, yeah. I mean, you know, invest in a box. Again, Video Game Authority.
Don't try to remove this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You keep it all intact.
Yeah, keep the price tag on there.
Where can I find that case? What can I go about?
It's the company's called Video Game Authority or VGA. Isn't that right?
So these are the guys I mentioned earlier. They grade games.
Yeah.
And I don't think Chicago games grade.
I think you should. I think you should get that graded. Yep. The problem is, you know, they're gonna see that sticker and they're gonna mark down the grade that the game is.
Whereas I think most buyers would actually prefer to have that sticker on there.
Yeah. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna grade it. This is the really important thing. They're gonna grade this game and they're gonna examine that seal, not for entertainment purposes, but they really will examine that seal. They will make absolutely sure that that is an authentic seal. And what they do is they put it inside that lucite box, and that gets closed up. And so basically, you as the investor, essentially, and anybody who might be the buyer later on, is going to know that seal is definitely authentic, and that as long as that box hasn't been opened.
And I mean, even if you don't plan on getting rid of it, it's good to protect your investment.
What's up?
So if he's going to hold on to it in a box, should he not get it graded when he's going to sell it?
No, he should get it graded immediately, because all that's going to happen is if you hold on to it in the box, there's always the potential that it's going to get damaged. And so to get this thing, what you want to do is get it graded, because when they grade it, they put it inside of a very thick lucite container that you can then display on the shelf or whatever it is you want to do with it, but it gets sealed up.
I mean, that's, you
So
know,
it's going to maintain
if
that.
like in this case, like you have no plans of opening it, there's no reason not to protect it, you know? Something we should point out is that there is a small fine.
Yeah, and again, PTA will like ding you for that, but you know, you're not, don't be too concerned about what number grade.
But everything-
You know,
So the point is, you wanted a seal Panzer Dragoon Saga. You got one. You've achieved it. You go, boy. of you have never seen one of these before. This predates the Game Boy by about 5 years. This is
And it looks it?
Epoch Pocket Computers.
Like,
This is, technically it's not the first portable game system with removable cartridges, but I think it's the first one with like ROM cartridges as opposed to having the game sort of built into a screen. Oh, that was Electrovision? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you actually brought a cartridge also. Is this
gonna boot up?
Yeah, it works.
Hey!
All right, here we go.
Bonus for everyone. We get to see it go.
Oh,
Yeah. Did you guys hear that?
oh my god.
All right. Let's put that.
Matrix system.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I kind of like how it's got these weird things. You can actually see the.
It's got the rules in it too.
Oh yeah, wow. Jeez.
Wow, that's innovation.
Just the one screen is static. Yeah.
Stone Keepers.
Can you guys?
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's primitive.
I
We'll
promise
put it
you the
that way.
graphics are amazing.
Okay, so my understanding of this, and I see this all the time when I go to like Akihabara, and this is a Japan-only device, and yes, it is a very, very early, predecessor to the Game Boy. It's big, clearly.
Certainly the first Japanese one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
made by? It was made by Epoch.
Epic.
Yep, Epic.
Is it EPOCH?
Oh, is it Epic? That's what we always do. It had like 6 games. For 5 games. And you're probably more of an expert on this than even we are because the game that you have, would you say?
Yeah, please tell us what you have. Yeah.
It's a box with instructions of storekeepers, which is like the very last game that was released for it, and apparently it's very, very rare. And I found out about this system on the Retronauts about all the non-Nintendo handhelds, and I immediately went to eBay and found this. Like 2 years to find an auction with that in it. Or one.
Did you get this on American eBay?
No, I got it at Yahoo Japan.
Okay.
I saw a loose copy of that with a loose system go on eBay twice, and it went for over $400 each time.
Okay.
Yes. And I wasn't willing to pay that. But I managed to find that with a broken system with the box.
Oh.
I didn't have a box with this one, so I have a box.
But you didn't bring the box.
No.
Okay.
Too big. And I paid about
How big is it?
well, it's not that much bigger. It's just like foam over top. And
Okay.
like,
So what did you pay for the?
it was about 130 after like the double shipping. So I think it was the third party
Yes,
and
yep.
the and like the wire transfer fee and the terrible yen conversion rate.
I've been there. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, 130.
I just bought it with their option to get 2 more of the games. I'm only missing 1 now.
Oh,
Great. So
what inspired you to start collecting this system?
I collect handhelds. I have about 50 different ones, and I found out they existed, so I'm like, I want that.
there's
And
you're
then
probably
I-
aware of Chris Covell's webpage
Yes.
about this. And
I
that's
found
like
out
everything I
about
know.
different ones.
Yeah, everything I know about the system is from that webpage.
So I actually used his website to try and to get the Japanese text to try and search on Japan to be able to find it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, the fact that you bought these at open auction does give us a bit of a clue
Yeah.
because, I'm sure that the Japanese collectors were hunting the same auction that you did and were looking to...
I just really wanted this one. I like Bakugan games. I've always loved them. I remember playing one of the versions on my Grandpa's 286 when I was a kid, and I just loved them. So
Yeah, it's pretty much for every system, right? Sokoban, which is the game where you have to, you're the warehouse guy and you have to push all the boxes around to get the egg.
It's a horrible game for people to make themselves.
Yeah.
That's me.